Let me do this written statement first, then we will discuss the issues. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are saddened by numerous transgressions being committed by top IEBC officials, especially the chairperson, Wafula Chebukati, and the CEO, Marjan Hussein Majan. While their actions appear heroic in the eyes of the main beneficiaries, the Azimio leadership puts the duo on notice for eroding the gains we have made in transforming the electoral system in Kenya since 2007, and which is the hallmark of lasting peace in Kenya. While Kenyans envisioned IEBC to be an independent commission guided by objectives prescribed by Article 249 of the Constitution, namely the protection of sovereignty of the people and securing observance of democratic values and principles of promotion of constitutionalism, the conduct of the two individuals, Majan and Chebukati, supported by a minority of the commission members, portray an institution that has surrendered its independence and disregarded the rule of law and has resorted to bootlicking the executive it connived with the judiciary to establish for personal benefits as follows. Number 1, irregular interdiction of Deputy IEBC CEO, Madam Ruth Kilundu. That the IEBC, supported by the Secretariat, comprises technical public officers led by the CEO. How can a Secretariat work and managed? How the Secretariat works and managed is well provided for under the IEBC Act and the IEBC Human Resource Manual. We are saddened that despite clear provisions of how to handle disciplinary matters, the manner in which Madam Ruth Kilundu has been treated by Chebukati and Majan is not only a breach of set guidelines, but is part of a well-orchestrated scheme to intimidate public officers who stand for the rule of law, but also question upholding free and fair elections. Madam Kilundu has been accused of what Mr. Majan terms arranging an illegal commission plenary meeting. One wonders what constitutes illegal plenary meeting and who are the attendees. Assuming that this is a genuine disciplinary matter, there is an elaborate procedure of how such matters should be handled. This concerned officer must be accorded a fair hearing, which begins with responding to a show cause notice. In essence, the commission must sit in plenary and resolve that CEO issues the show cause letter, which may be followed by interdiction or suspension if further investigations are required. No such or semblance of such procedure was followed, since Mr. Majan, acting in concert with Chebukati, had an ulterior motive to achieve, which he literally interdicted Madam Kilundu as a way of punishing her for standing with the truth. Then there is nepotism, favoritism, and unfair practices, which Honorable Osotsi will talk about, and even tribalism, which Honorable Osotsi will talk about. You will read, I will give you this statement so that you are able to have it firsthand. But without the functional secretariat, the IEBC is, as currently constituted, cannot be trusted to discharge its constitutional mandate as set out in the Constitution. In fact, the Supreme Court in its ruling emphasized on impartiality and professionalism of the Secretariat as a precondition for free and fair elections. As leaders within the Progressive Coalition, we will not allow this critical institution crumble just because of two individuals. We know that Chebukati is soon leaving the commission with this newfound regime, and we will not allow him to destroy the structures that Kenyans have fought hard to establish. So we demand as follows. Number 1, that IEBC immediately reinstates Ruth Kilundu to her rightful position of Deputy CEO within the next 24 hours, failure to which we shall take stern action against Wafula Chebukati and the CEO Majan Hussein Majan. Number 2, that IEBC calls to order Majan Hussein and demonstrate to Kenyans that he shall live by the values and principles of public service, failure to which we shall demand that he relinquishes his position prior to the commencement of the boundaries review exercise or conducting the pending by-elections. Thank you very much. I need to add that you saw that this morning members of parliament drawn from Nairobi County, and I have the member for Starehe in whose jurisdiction we stand. I have the member for Kibra, who is a leader in Nairobi County. I'm a member from Ruaraka, which is in Nairobi. Honorable Mwenje is a member from Embakasi East, which is in Nairobi. Embakasi West. And Honorable Ososi is a senator. We all have a constitutional mandate when our constituents, or any Kenyan for that matter, has an issue. Our mandate is to solve issues concerning our constituents and resolve matters that the general populace would want us to do. So we have come here deliberately, constitutionally, very peacefully, to come and engage with IEBC, which, as you know, is an independent but public commission that is paid by public taxes. So you have seen that as we came, police have lobbed tear gas on us severally, without provocation at all, just because we are conducting our constitutional mandate given to us as MPs. And then we come to this gate. We have found that they have locked the gates with chains. So this literally means that IEBC, which is a public constitutional body, have decided to lock. I'm joined by Honorable Aladwa, who is member for Makadara and the chairperson of Nairobi County, ODM County. They have decided to lock the gate with chains. So you can imagine that the gates have been locked to the public. Everybody in Kenya, in Nairobi, cannot access IEBC to be able to ask pertinent questions concerning the issues of Kulundu. But that notwithstanding, we have put a position on the staff in IEBC who were brave enough not to accept the thieving ways of the commissioners. People who stood strong against what happened in Bomas. We know, and I can tell you as a lawyer, that employees have ways in which they are dealt with in their human resources manuals from their respective organizations, and that must be followed. But the chairman unilaterally decided to interdict Madam Kulundu, who is the deputy CEO, just like that in Mombasa, without the commission sitting down. The commission never sat down as a commission to deliberate on the issue of Ruth Kulundu. And the Secretariat Bajan cannot fire her deputy because the deputy is employed by the commission, not by Majan. And that is how things are. So I know that Madam Kulundu may be looking at her own options, legal options, but we have a mandate as members of parliament to come and question such infractions when we see them, and we call them out. So we came out this morning to call out these people. But it looks like we are still where we were in 2007. We are ready for this. We are ready for this engagement. And we will do this engagement every day on the streets, if that is what it takes to liberate the space that we have to manage our elections prudently. And so I want to call in my colleagues. I want to start with Honorable Ososi, and then Honorable Aladwa will take a bite in Swahili, and then Amos, because this is the constituency he represents, will say something, and Honorable Mwenye, who happens to be our advocate today, will tell us if we have infringed any law by being where we are. Honorable Osotsi.
Yeah.